Hello YouTube, and so for starters, I'm just gonna say it right now, immediately. Sorry, this isn't a Kingdom Hearts related video. Well, kinda. I mean, Kingdom Hearts is here. So I've seen a lot of other YouTubers do this, where they just go through all the games that they played this year and talk about, kind of talk about them. You know, not do like a top 5 or anything, but just talk about the games that they played. Not played, but beat. So I'm just going to go over all the games that I beat this year. I have a ton of games here, so yeah, let's just get started. So let's start with the PS1. On PS1, I beat Disney's Treasure Planet. This is a pretty decent little 3D platformer. Yeah, it was okay-ish. A little easy, but yeah. A lot of the time with these like Disney platformer games, you gotta give them like a chance because some of them are pretty decent. Next one is Croc Legend of the Gobos. I love this game. I did a review of this game actually. Yeah, I really like this game. God, I'm sorry my heater's going off. I wish there was something I could do about that. Yeah, I really love this game. I am kind of trying to learn how to speedrun it because I wouldn't mind, you know, attempting a speedrun at some point. But yeah, so then, lastly, next I played through, all the way through, I 100% completed this, which is kind of crazy. I normally don't 100% games, but I 100% completed Spyro the Dragon, and it was pretty good. It was really fun, it was really easy. Like, this is a really basic 3D platformer, honestly enough, but it was really fun. Yeah, good game overall. It's held up really well. It surprised me a little bit. And then I played through Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. And this was actually a game I was really nervous about playing through again, because back when I was a kid, I didn't like this game that much. I don't know, just something about it never really sat well with me. And, but going through it again, it's like such a huge improvement over Spyro 1. You know, just way more ambitious of a game. I feel like Naughty Dog really understood, Insomniac really understood the PS1 a lot better as a system and everything, but so yeah, it's just a better game. Definitely didn't mind playing through that one. Then next up on the N64, I played through a little RPG known as Quest 64. I really like Quest 64. I might do a video on it at some point. It's just a really basic RPG, but it has a really fun battle system. Like, I remember I watched like a Pro Jared review or something like that, and he just completely destroys it. But it's like this. He like gives it no credit, but it's actually like a really clever like combination of like an action RPG and a JRPG. Yeah, definitely a really fun game. I really like Quest 64. And then I played through Star Fox 64. You know, in Star Fox 64, it's a pretty great game. You know, even after all these years, it's still a really fun game. And then last but not least, I played through Mario 64. So, I've always had like a weird love-hate relationship with Mario 64. Like, I shouldn't say hate. I've always just kind of thought it was overrated, but I don't know, when I played through it this year, this is the first time I played through this game in a really long time. I was like, wow, Mario 64 is a great video game. I don't know, I know that that's not like a huge revelation to anybody really, but this is a great video game, you guys. Mario 64 is a good game. It's crazy. So then next up to Dreamcast games, because I guess I'm going to do these in order to some extent. Yeah, let's just do these in order. I played through Typing of the Dead, which, as some of you guys might remember, I was going to review this for October. Then that didn't happen because I just got too busy to edit up a review and everything, and I'm really sorry about that. I'm thinking about doing like October and May. You know, like May is like the halfway point to October, so I'm thinking about doing like October and May, and doing this game. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. I definitely want to make a video on this game at some point. No, I really like Typing of the Dead. Really fun game. then I played through Power Stone. I don't know if you guys would count this or not, but I'm counting it because, god dang it, I played through it like 4 or 5 times. Power Stone is such a fun, great game. Good video game is Power Stone. Then, let's see, one Dreamcast game that was on my list for a really long time that I was finally able to get was KO the Kangaroo. This is actually a fairly uncommon game, believe it or not. And it's a very boring 3D platformer. It's a very meh level 3D platformer. It's not like bad, but it's not good. It's just on this weird tier of being meh. Like, that's the greatest way I could describe this game. Is it's just meh. It's like meh. Yeah. So if you're looking for a 3D platformer on Dreamcast, this is one of 3 or 4 of them. So I guess it's not the best one. Honestly, I'd probably say it's the worst, but yeah. So the next 2 games I played through were Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. This is my favorite one. Not my favorite one, but this is my second favorite Tony Hawk game. This game is so great. I love Tony Hawk 1. Such a fantastic game. And then I played through Tony Hawk 2, and Tony Hawk 2, a lot of people say it's better, but I think, honestly enough, the thing that really holds it back in my mind is the level design. I just think that a lot of the levels aren't designed as well as they were in Tony Hawk 1, and they really ironed out the warts in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, which is the best of the Tony Hawk trilogy, in my opinion at least. So the weird thing about these games is I tend to play through Tony Hawk 1 at least 3 or 4 times a year. Like, this is just one of those games that, like, if I find myself doing nothing and I have just an hour to kill, I'll just play through it because I could beat this game in like an hour, probably less than an hour if I'm doing like minimum tapes. Yeah, I just really flippin' love Tony Hawk 1. It's such a great game. And then after I play through Tony Hawk 1, I might play through Tony Hawk 2. It just depends on the mood I'm in. But more than likely, I'm going to play through Tony Hawk 3. But this year, I just felt like playing through the whole original trilogy because, in my opinion, these are the best, probably the best skateboarding games of all time, excluding like Skate. Of course, Skate is just on this whole other level though. And yeah, like Tony Hawk 1, 2, and 3, they're just such fantastic games. So sorry about not doing this in complete order. Sorry about that, but I just felt like talking about Tony Hawk 1, 2, and 3 all at the same time. So next up, I played Ratchet & Clank Going Commando, and this game's held up really well. It really surprises me how well it held up. In fact, I really enjoyed it. This is overall a very good game, and well, I wouldn't even say good. I would say fantastic game. Yeah, like great level design, great soundtrack, good writing, good voice acting. Like, yeah, this is a fantastic game from the PS2 era, and it still 100% holds up in my mind, at least. And then next up, I played the Mega Man X collection, but to be more specific, I played through Mega Man X1 and X2. Those are the 2 that I like the most, so those are the 2 that I played through. I started X4, but I just didn't finish it for some reason. But yeah, though, X1 and X2 are really fun, really good games. Highly recommend them if you're into 2D side-scrolling platformers, if you somehow haven't played them already. So, next up, I played through Halo Combat Evolved. This year, I don't know if you guys are noticing, but these are a lot of these games are games that I played through as a child, and the reason why is because I just felt like going back to a lot of these nostalgic games and just seeing how well they hold up and everything. Halo Combat Evolved holds up really well. It has some frame rate issues, don't get me wrong, and I do think playing it through on PC would probably be the best, most optimal way to play through this game, but this game holds up stunningly well. Honestly, it's still a lot of fun after all these years. I played through it on Legendary because I'm an idiot and I forgot that Legendary is really only meant for if you have a buddy to play through it with. So I played through it by myself on the hardest difficulty. I regret that because this game is super hard on the hardest difficulty. Some of the guns are just completely unviable. But it was still a lot of fun, though. I still had a lot of fun playing this game. It's incredible how good the AI is in this game because they're flank you, they're do like all kinds of like crazy stuff that like just AI doesn't do in most modern first-person shooters. The next up, this isn't a game from my childhood, but this is a game that I heard about when I was younger, and I always wanted to check it out. And it's Dragon's Lair 3D. Return to the Lair. This is a weird game because it's more or less a remake of the first Dragon's Lair, but where it's actually like a 3D platformer. Like, look at these screenshots. It's like a 3D platformer, but with Zelda elements and everything. It's actually really fun. It has a couple of sore spots, like the controls are a little clunky and take a little getting used to. The game is really short, but it's a lot of fun though. I really like it. Let's see, graphically speaking, this game's incredible. Like, honestly, go look up gameplay of this game. Look up gameplay of the Xbox version though, because the Xbox version runs at 1080i. It's just absolutely insane how good this game looks. Yeah, so overall, this was a really fun game. I highly recommend it. So next up, I played through a kind of a black sheep in the series. I played through Star Fox Assault, and you know, I don't know why people don't like this game. This is a fantastic Star Fox game. I was seriously thinking to myself, why don't more people like this game? It seems like this is, like, besides Star Fox Zero, this is like kind of the Star Fox game nobody talks about. So like Star Fox, like, people when I talk about like Star Fox Zero or Star Fox 64, they never bring up like any of the games in between. But it's like, this is a great game, honestly. Even the land sections are a lot of fun. Even the tank sections are a lot of fun in this game. Yeah, definitely check out Star Fox Assault if you get the chance. So then next up, I played through, as some of you guys might remember, I played through Bomberman Generation because I made the review on it. I'm not going to say much on this because I have the review. I'll try and put an info thing if I remember to. But yeah, though, I played through that game. And then I played through Super Mario Sunshine, and I did this on stream, actually, on Twitch, back when I would stream. I don't know if I'm ever going to go back into streaming, but if I do, I would do it here on YouTube, just because I don't want to attempt to divide my audience or anything like that. So Super Mario Sunshine, though, is a fantastic game. This is my favorite 3D Mario. To be fair, this is the one that I grew up playing and everything. It's just a lot of fun. I just really, really like this game. I love the flood mechanic. I think that it's the perfect way to do like tight platforming in like a 3D platformer. And it's just a great game. Like, honestly enough, this game 100% holds up, you guys. Trust me. On the occasion, I know what I'm talking about. Next up, I played through Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. So, some of you guys might be noticing, so I am a huge RPG, JRPG fan, specifically JRPGs, but, so some of you guys might be noticing that I don't have a lot of JRPGs here with me, and the reason why is because JRPGs, they tend to be around 40, 50 hours, and I tend to play through about half of them, and then well, like halfway through, and then I just stop because I don't have the time to put 40 hours into a JRPG that I don't really like. Now, I'll play all the way through the ones that I really, really like. You know, the games in the Persona series. I played, you know, almost every Final Fantasy I'll play all the way through if I start it. And so I have to really like the JRPG in order for me to actually play all the way through. It's actually like that with every game, like Horizon Zero Dawn. I never beat it just because, like, I got 15 hours into it and I just got so bored of that game. It's not just JRPGs that fall under this thumb of mine, I guess you could say. But yeah, though, so Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. This is a really fun game, honestly, and it really surprised me. I played through like the original Paper Mario a year and a half ago. That's fairly recently for me, mind you, and I just didn't like it that much. It was just way too easy, and worst off, like, the writing was just really boring in that game. The writing in this game's a lot of fun. This game's a lot more, I would say it's darker in a sense, but it's like better comedic timing and everything. Yeah, this is 100% better than the first Paper Mario. I don't think the first Paper Mario has aged that well, but I think that this one has. So if you're if you're looking to get into Paper Mario, I'd probably say to start with that. This next one will be pretty controversial, and it's Metroid Prime. I played all the way through Metroid Prime. I can safely say I don't think this game aged well at all. So the platforming in it is super awkward. It screams of, this is our first attempt at making like a platformer in first person. And granted, this probably is one of the first like first person platformers, but it is awkward. Like, there's a lot of just enemies that will just be placed onto the platform that you need to jump onto. There's a lot of that. And then on top of that, if you die, you go back to your last save point. And that probably doesn't sound that bad, but like, if you die at a boss, you go back to your last save point, and the save points in this game are pretty like stingy. Like, no joke. I died at a boss, and I had to go back and do this entire 30-minute sequence, and it's just so unfun. Yeah, like, I'll say this, like, graphically speaking, this game is incredible, especially for the time. I think this came out in 2002, right? Graphically speaking, this game's incredible, but the visor effects, they drive me crazy. I hate the visor effects in this game, but there's no way to turn them off. And the reason why I hate them, okay, is, so if you fall into lava, you're dead. Like, if you fall directly into the middle of lava, you're just pretty much dead, because the lava goes all over your visor, and you cannot get it off your visor at all, and it drives me crazy. So I don't think Metroid Prime 1 aged well. There's this horrible fetch quest at the end of the game, which felt super tacked on. Yeah, it just, it's really frustrating too, because there are parts of the game that I do really like, but, oh god, I did not like Metroid Prime 1 very much, but I felt like I had to finally play through it, because I've started and stopped it so many times. But yeah, so then that got me to finally play through Metroid Other M, which I played through originally when this game came out in 2010. And it's funny, because when this game came out, it got good reception and everything. Like, the fan base liked it. Alright, my bad, YouTube. I thought I could do this in one take, but clearly I was wrong, so sorry about that random cut right there. So this game got like weird reception and everything, like I was saying. Like, the fan base liked it at first, critics liked it, but like the one critic, and I still remember this, that was like the outlier, was like XPlay. I think they gave this game like a 2 out of 5, but like every other critic like said that this was like an 8 out of 10 game. And nowadays, though, like, this weird army of Metroid fans have just come out of the woodwork and just absolutely despise this game. And I really like this game, honestly enough. I think it has problems, but I think that it succeeds more than it fails at, okay? Yeah, overall, I think it's a good game. I think the story, I think some people are right. Like, the story is kind of bad, but at least they try. Like, okay, so I think why most Metroid fans really hate the story of this game is because it's a lot of headcanon. Like, most of Metroid's story is just people's headcanon, you know? It's what people make up in their mind, like, oh, well, Samus would never do that because, well, you know, Samus has never had any type of dialogue and or written role in this series, so she would never do that in my mind's perspective. And then it's like, well, that's what happens when a writer attempts to give a character who's never had any type of written lines or anything a story arc, so to speak. I don't think the story's that bad, honestly. I think it's just kind of boring, and the voice acting is kind of bad, you know? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's nostalgia, even though I'm not really nostalgic toward that game. And then last but not least, on GameCube, I played through Ratatouille. This is another Disney game, but this is one some of you guys might want to check out, because if you look on the back of your box, if you can make that out, this was made by Heavy Iron Studios, which is the same company that made SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, which is a fantastic 3D platformer, and I highly recommend you guys go check it out. But, so this was made by them, and this is a really good 3D platformer. Definitely look into this one. Super cheap game, only like a $5 game. Yeah, definitely look into this one, you guys. Alright, so I've got a couple more games to mention here. So I'm going to tell you guys the games that I had to download. You know, my download games. I'm sorry, I don't have any type of way to show them off. I'm sorry. But so I downloaded Super Lucky's Tale, fantastic 3D platformer. You guys definitely look into that one. I played it through on Steam. Great game, highly recommend it. And then I also played through, what was the other one? Oh, the Disney Saturday Morning Collection. So that's, I played through DuckTales and Darkwing Duck off of that. And, you know, they were NES platformers. Not really my forte, but I felt like I needed to play through them at some point. So, yeah, moving on to the PSP. Yeah, let's do PSP next. Shoot, I forgot to grab a game. So, I played through Gunpei. I don't know if you would count this as a playthrough, but, I mean, I saw credits, so I guess I'll count it. I'm sorry if that's cheating. So I played through Gunpei. Gunpei is a really fun puzzle game. I highly recommend it if you're into puzzle games. Definitely one of the more underrated ones, in my opinion. Then I played through Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII. This is such a weird game because it's my favorite PSP game, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. I really love Crisis Core. I think it is my favorite Final Fantasy, if I'm being honest with you guys. This is just such a fantastic game. I love the writing. I love the character Zack. I think Zack is probably the best, like, character in a video game I've ever, I don't know, come across, or at least the one that I relate to the most. Yeah, I just love Crisis Core so much, and I had to play through it again this year. My first time playing through in like 2 years, and it's still a good game. It's, God, I love Crisis Core. Crisis Core 100% holds up, you guys. Then I played through Valkyria Chronicles 2, and I forgot to grab it. Here, let me grab it off my shelf real quick. Sorry, you guys. Earlier in the year, I played through Valkyria Chronicles Remastered. Not the first one, but I bought the original PS3 version, just because I wanted it for the collection. So I played through Valkyria Chronicles 1 and 2, and this is such a great series, you guys. God, I love this series. I still haven't started Valkyria 4 yet, but I'm looking forward to starting it. God, these games rule. Valkyria 2 isn't as good as the first one, but, like, it's good, though. It's really good. I really dig this series. So then I played through Tony Hawk American Escape Land, and this is a pretty decent little Tony Hawk game on your DS. I don't know. It's okay-ish. It's cheap, so, you know. Played through a lot of Tony Hawk games this year. I did not think I played through that many. And then on the 3DS, I played through Fire Emblem Echoes. This is the first Fire Emblem game I have ever played, and God, I really like this actually. I really like the explorable dungeons and everything. My friend told me that this is the worst Fire Emblem, so I'm really excited. I have Awakening already, and I'm going to start that. I'm going to play through that after Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 is really going to just eat up my life for a couple weeks, so I don't want to start Awakening until after Kingdom Hearts 3. But yeah, so Fire Emblem Echoes, this is a really great game. I really liked it, and yeah, just check it out. I think this is actually probably the cheapest Fire Emblem game on 3DS, so I think this is a good place to start. And then, so I'm down to my last 7 games. Whoa. So, I don't know where to start. I guess we'll just do this one. This is Breath of the Wild. It's probably the greatest game of all time. Yeah, I had to play through it again this year, just to be sure, and God, this is just such a great video game. What a good game. Then I played through Poi Explorers Edition. This is, sadly enough, I think that this is probably one of the most ignored 3D platformers of last year, just because it launched at the same time as Super Mario Odyssey. So sadly enough, like, Poi didn't get any attention, and it's super cheap now, you guys. It's only like a $10 game on Switch, like for a physical copy, and like it goes on sale on Steam and PS4 all the time, probably on Switch too. And I just highly recommend it. It's a really fun throwback to Mario 64. It's a little bit of a basic platformer, but there's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. I 100%ed this game, which I don't 100% a lot of games, so that should really tell you guys something. And then, of course, I played through Mario Odyssey again this year. I played through the other 2 3D Marios, and it just didn't feel right not to play through it. And God, this is a good game. Mario Odyssey is a really good game. So, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last video, but so this year I played through every single Kingdom Hearts game. Remember when I said Kingdom Hearts is in this video? Well, it's because I went psychopath and I played through every game in the series, and I do not regret it one bit because these games are awesome. And for those of you wondering, for the handheld games, yes, I did play through them on my handheld copies and everything. God, this is a fantastic series. God, I love it. Cannot wait for Kingdom Hearts 3. And then I played through Street Fighter V. I don't care what you guys say, I put 100 hours into this game. This counts. I really like Street Fighter V. This is Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. This, like, Arcade Edition really feels like Street Fighter V finally came out, if that makes sense. Like, there's a bunch of characters, V-Trigger, 2s, and everything. This is really like what Street Fighter V should have been at launch, but I still like it. I haven't actually played it in like a month, though. And then last but not least, I played through Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age, and this is my favorite game this year. This is such a great game. Definitely check this game out if you're into JRPGs, you guys. So yeah. So YouTube, that was every game I played through this year. I think I played through around 40 to 50 games. I'm gonna have to do the count for the clickbait thumbnail. Yeah. But yeah, so if you guys like this video, like it down below, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Have a wonderful day, YouTube, and peace.